Hello everyone and welcome back to Clover Knows Pets. I'm Clover. It is currently 1:41 in the morning. As you can tell, I'm extremely hyper for absolutely no inherent reason. That is because I just finished watching over 4 hours of random videos of animal care, even stuff that I already knew, and just refreshing myself just so that I had enough stamina now to do what I wanted to do over 10 hours ago, around 2 p.m. Yeah, it's currently 1 a.m., almost 2 a.m. That's how long it takes me. Anyways, I'm going to be redoing my whole schedule for all of my animals. Why? Because I now have a lot of other animals, and now my rescue is at full capacity. Rescue being In a Pinch, Hermit Crab, and Exotics Rescue, mainly put on this rack, but has now expanded to other rooms. Anyways, currently what I'm doing is not checking out. Quite literally, I put everything on a board and check it off. And now I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing that is not on the board, and therefore I'm going to end up forgetting it if I don't write it down, but I also don't like writing things down like that. I don't know why, probably because I never end up actually sticking to what I planned on doing. And instead, for example, I say I'm gonna go feed Muggo the Cuban tree frog in here. I walk over to the room, then see Flower needs hay. Walking out of the room, I see the insects, because the house was just cleaned and they needed to come back into the pet room. But, I'm not using the insects anymore. I need to get hay. I walk to get hay, but beforehand I realize that these guys' enclosures are really dirty. These guys being the micro squirrels. And they need new water and new syrup. Maple syrup honey mixture to be exact. But there's stuff on the cage, so I don't want to do that right now. And then I forget what I'm doing. But then I see Avalanche sitting out right next to the other tanks, which reminds me that I need to feed the animals. So I go back and grab the insects, and I walk up to the tank, and then I realize the tank is dirty, and so I need to clean that off. But before I clean that off, I notice there's planarians on the tank, which means I should take those off and feed them to my fish. And I need tweezers for that. And at the same time, I also need tweezers for the insects. So I go over to the drawer that should have the tweezers. But look at that, there's only 2 paintbrushes in there. That's not what I need. Now what I do? Gotta clean up this. Gotta clean up that. Gotta feed the planarians, which means I gotta feed all of the fish, which means I gotta feed the crabs, which means I gotta feed the hermit crabs, which means I gotta feed the snails, which means I gotta feed the insects, which means I gotta feed the rodents. And that is how my brain works. What I just walked you through is what I just did about 3 hours ago, around 12 o'clock. So yeah, today I'm going to be explaining to you how I make a new routine with 80 plus exotic animals. Let's get started. First thing I do is write down basic categories, meaning animal categories. Hi, Flower. Yeah. Hello. Pen's not yours. We've got insects, rodents, reptiles, hermit crabs. Yes, I do count those as their own category. I don't know why. I think it's just because I have so many. Birds, aquatics, oh my god, Flower, it's not right now, baby. Play with you in a bit. And domesticated animals. Domesticated animals meaning cats, my dog, Flower the bunny, that sort of stuff. Not including things like Endler's live bears, which are a kind of fish that I keep that are domesticated. Anyways, there we go. Now I'm gonna make some lines, separating the categories. That way I can tell them apart. There we go. Also, if you're wondering if I am just overly crazy right now because it's late, the answer is no. I just normally edit out a lot of my videos or re-say things in my videos. That way I'm slowing down, and I chose not to this time. So basically this is a unedited, unpracticed, unscripted video. Moving back, now we've got insects, rodents, reptiles, hermit crabs, birds, meaning avian, aquatics, and domesticated pets. Now I'm going to write down very, very, very broad terms or just broad words explaining what I need to do for them. For example, the insects. Give water. Actually going to make this into a square or semi-square. Give food. I've also got feed to pets, meaning like the dubia roaches, mealworms, and silkworms. They are feeder insects that I give to my other animals, such as my reptiles and rodents, as food. Get more, meaning buy more feeder insects. And yeah, I'm just going to repeat that for everything. Basically, I just fill this whole thing out. And I like doing it this way because I can sort of go back and forth. Like, for example, if I'm doing rodents and I remember health checks, then I can see, oh, wait, I also have to do health checks on reptiles and birds and domesticated pets. Also, yes, did add two more categories. But yeah, and then I can just write it in everywhere. Instead of a normal list top to bottom that would be put this way, where if I forget something, I can't just go and write it where it should be. Anyways, moving on, let me finish this. Alright, there we go. And now the next thing is to grab another page and write down basic things color-coded. For example, everything that requires feeding or is relating to feeding will be color-coded bright orange. Why bright orange? Because this is what I found first when I picked up from a pile. Yeah, that's right, that's how I work. But yeah, so food or feed pets or give food or whatever I put down on here basically is in every category except for other. So now on the top page, I will write back down the categories and then use bullet points that are color-coded, again, using the example of orange being feed or to feed, so I know what I'm doing. So, for example, under food and insect related, I have to give the dubias and the mealworms veggies and give the ice pods leaf litter. I especially like this because even though I may or may not end up writing down other things from other categories such as water, moistened silkworm food, which is purple, if I remember something that revolves around food, for example, feed the dubia roaches, mealworms, and silkworms to my reptiles, I can still put it down. Boom, now it doesn't look as separated from the others. Because now if I'm going to feed all of them or do everything revolving around food for insects, which, by the way, is sort of how my brain works, even if they're completely unrelated topics, if they have the same words in them, they seem similar enough for me to do them all at once. I don't even try and understand anymore. Anyways, I can just look at all of the orange and know to do that. Now I have to repeat with every other animal or, well, category. And yes, there is bunny poop on the paper. Anyways, moving on. As I'm filling these out, my momentum is finally starting to diminish. I say finally because it's actually been longer than normally. But anyways, therefore I'm not going to be continuing this tonight, but instead doing it a different night when I can actually focus on it. Therefore, there will be a part 2 of this video. Check that out to see how I finish this. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll have a part 3 explaining how I finish it. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any suggestions. And if you're wondering, yes, this is how I normally act. I'm just choosing not to act like I'm different. By the way, what I mean by that is acting not like I'm not different, but like I'm not normal. Meaning not neurotypical. Meaning anyways, bye.